Nick, good to see you. Today, we are breaking down the three different tax buckets. Strategic planning utilizes a combination of all three accounts, which can reduce your taxes in retirement. So, let's talk about the first bucket. This is your tax deferred bucket, probably what most of us are familiar with.
Right. So everybody always talks about, diversifying your assets, and we also
Mhm.
have to diversify our taxes. So that first bucket that you see there, the tax deferred, these are IRAs, 401ks, 403bs, 457, your employer sponsored plan that you're getting a deduction for. These started back in the early 80s, and people have been dumping lots of money into this with the expectation that they're going to be in a lower tax bracket in retirement. What we're finding out though is a lot of people are essentially creating a tax time bomb,
Mhm.
with this. They're continually putting this money into these retirement accounts with that expectation they're going to be in the lower tax bracket, and we're just finding out that taxes are continuing to go up, and income is going to continue to go up as well. So
Mhm.
it's great to have money inside of there, but we've also got to look at some of these other buckets as well.
Right, especially because I've seen the national debt, so I am safely assuming that taxes are going to go up. Let's talk
Yep.
about this second bucket, though. These are your taxable accounts.
Right. So these taxable accounts are, things like checking, savings, non-qualified investment, accounts. You can have, mutual funds or exchange traded funds, stocks, bonds, that don't have the tax qualifications like a Roth or like a traditional IRA do. A lot of benefits to this is it provides more liquidity. You don't have some of those age restrictions that you do on some of those qualified accounts. So you can add money to it. You can take money from it, throughout the year. It can grow, but you're going to get a 1099, is one of the cons at the end of the year for any capital gains or dividends
Mhm.
interest, that you may have accumulated throughout the year.
Mhm. And the last bucket, these are your tax-free accounts. I got to say, I like the sound of free.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Tax free. We love that kind of stuff. So Roth IRAs are a great way to accumulate, money in a tax free, basis. These started back in 1998, and, you put money into it. And unlike the tax deferred account, you don't get the tax deduction of the money going into there. So you're putting it in, you're being taxed on the money going into the account. But as that money grows, it's growing tax deferred. And as long as you follow the rules of, it's got to be in there for at least 5 years. You're taking it out after age 59 and a half, other than, some of the exceptions and to the rules. Then it's going to be a tax-free account, and all of that growth at this point in time is also considered tax-free as well.
Mhm.
So this is a great bucket to be able to supplement income from, whether you're looking to take out a little bit of extra income at the end of the year, but don't want to push yourself into the higher tax bracket, whether you have some, Medicare subsidy information, or the payments, and being able to qualify for those subsidies. Taking distributions from these Roth IRAs can really help supplement your income, but not push you into those higher thresholds as well.
Mhm. Understanding these three tax buckets, Nick, that's one thing. But trying to figure out the combination of which account and when to pull from, that requires some really advanced planning. So, how do I figure out what combination is right for me?
Absolutely. And this is on a case by case basis. So
Mhm.
even if your sister has, the same amount, or your brother-in-law, wants to, do the tax planning and say, "Hey, we have about the same amount of income. This is the way it should be." Everybody is completely different. So you have to look at this on your own situation of what's going on. And you have to look at it on a year by year basis as well. Just because you did some Roth conversions last year, planning to do them next year, doesn't mean that that's necessarily going to be the thing, going forward year after year after year.
Mhm.
Tax codes change, lifestyles change, income thresholds change. So we need to sit down and take a look at how each person can do this in the most tax efficient way. We want to cut Uncle Sam out as much as possible in a legal way, but still maintain that same standard of living that you've been used to your
Right.
entire working life.
Right. And it all comes back to proactive planning. So important.
Absolutely.
Nick, if somebody has questions about what we've talked about or, whether their combination is going to work for them in retirement, what's the best way to reach you?
Yeah, so they can reach out to us online at iconberryretirement.com. There's a link on there that you can schedule an appointment. Or you can also give us a call, 937-498-1128. and set up an appointment. There's no obligation, no cost, to set up that appointment, and we can go through these types of strategies for you.
Great. Okay, Nick, thank you.
Thanks, Erin.